Welcome to What in the Anime, your weekly anime podcast. Now, here's your hosts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to the What in the Anime podcast. This week, I still have Dustin. I still can't replace him, but that's okay.
You're never getting rid of me.
Finding new ways to do that, but we're still here, so we're still going to go at it. How are you doing today?
I am doing really good. Actually, I had a pretty good day, work and everything, so.
Yeah, the day went by so fast. I mean, it always helps when you try to binge the last little bit of Demon Slayer, so.
Hey, I only had one episode. You're the one who slacked again.
It's not that I slacked, but like I hold that anime so precious to me that it like takes me so long to want to watch it because I don't want it to end. So it's like I know as soon as I'm done watching the final episode, I gotta wait a whole another year. So I like to take my time with it since it's my favorite. So I do that with weird animes. It's so funny that like animes like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu and hopefully like this Chainsaw Man that's coming out. I don't want to read manga. I don't want to read any of it. I just want to enjoy it for the first time. And those are the only shows I do that with. So I'm weird when it comes to that. So
I am not the same. I've read all of Demon Slayer. I'm current with My Hero, and I've actually read some Chainsaw Man as well. So we are not the same.
Yeah. So what do you got for us today?
All right. So today we are going to go through a little bit of news. We got some. We just got a couple quick updates, basically, on Mob Psycho. Crunchyroll announced another anime they got, and just a couple other cool little tidbits of news. Then we're going to do our top 3 kind of power rankings in anime. Not really power rankings, I guess, like power styles. Like, so think of like Nin and Hunter x Hunter, Ki and Dragon Ball, Chakra and Naruto.
Oh, there, you just did all 3. You just did all 3. Now we don't got to do it.
Not mine. I just did 3 examples, buddy. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do for our segment there. And then after that, we're going to do our normal 3v3 anime battle. I think last week was a little slow trying to do the Pokemon Showdown.
Dude, that is so
audio.
hard to do. That's so hard to do because then the whole time that we're doing it, I'm just trying to kick your ass. So It's trying to be able to figure out, I don't know, who's weak against what and trying to announce that. Man, that was difficult, but maybe just doing it straight. Maybe doing it just straight video next time or something, or just have like one-offs for outside of the podcast doing that kind of stuff. That's probably where that'll come in.
Yep. On our YouTube channel. Again, check out our YouTube channel. We now have Pokemon Y Cage Lock videos.
Yeah. I spend like 7 hours a night editing that crap. So just watch at least 5 minutes of it.
Yeah. Just enough to give it a thumbs up and pretend you like it, please.
You can even dislike it. I don't care. At least I know somebody's watching it.
All right. So again, our 3v3 will be in the style of Pokemon as it always is. And after that, we will be reviewing Demon Slayer Season 2, primarily the Entertainment District arc, but we'll probably talk a little bit about the Mugen Train arc as well, just because why not? So that out of the way, you want to give our updated schedule?
Yeah, so our next 3 animes that we have selected, you guys already know Bubble will be the next one we'll do. It is a next Netflix anime movie. I'm actually going to probably watch that tonight, so that way I can kind of get that out of the way. And if I do like it, it gives me time to watch it again. So I actually have a free schedule tonight, so that's kind of nice. And then the second one in week 2 will be Samurai Champloo. Those 26 episodes Dustin is having me try to watch, and
yep.
He's loving it so far. I can't get him to shut up about it. So
well, I think it's way more your style than Cowboy Bebop was, so I've just been talking up because like I think Tyler will like it a lot more. It's sword fighting. Who doesn't like sword fighting?
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. And then one of my anime picks that we did in one of our first episodes, so we kind of stayed away from that for a while because we wanted to let those episodes gather. We wanted to see a big chunk of it, see kind of where they got on the ratings and whatnot. And so this is one that is finally we can do, and it's called Vampire in the Garden. So, but the only problem with that is they've only released 5 episodes for the season 1. So
that's a whole flipping season, but makes it a quick binge for anyone who wants to watch it.
Well, it'll be nice because hopefully that just means it's just straight and to the point. So I don't know if that means they're going to do a good job with it, but we'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get there. And another quick announcement: I basically have decided to pass our review on Ultraman season 2 and the Pacific Rim, mostly because of
Just
the anime style, the CGI style. I know Tyler, and getting him to watch that is gonna be like seriously like pulling teeth. It's not gonna
Dude,
happen.
I got such a list. Like I want to watch like Tokyo Ghoul. I have not watched that. I want to watch Mob Psycho. I haven't watched that. Bleach. I got to get back into that. Like there's so much I want to finish, and to get me into like a CGI. Like the only CGI I want to get into is the new Dragon Ball movie, and I'm even iffy on that because it's like I hope it does. It's really good. I hope it does better than Broly, but I
Yeah,
mean, it's Broly, so how can it? So depending on what they bring, if they like to reuse their villains, so let's see where they go with that.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I know he won't get into it, so we're not gonna bother with it. What we'll probably do is I'll probably still watch it because I watch everything, and I'll give like a quick like little spoiler free reaction and recommend or not recommend before a different review that we do that day. Just that way you at least hear if it's decent or not. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that real quick. Now we had a question last week, Tyler. Do you remember our question that we gave our audience?
Oh, something about the big three, huh?
Okay, yeah, we got one answer, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and talk about it. It's my buddy Zach. I met him through we're both executive producers on a podcast called Dynamic Duel. It's a DC versus Marvel. He is also the host of a podcast called Movie Night with the Boys that he does with a guy named John, another person I know. And his answer,
How can you have movie night with the boys and I'm not even one of the boys?
I don't know. I've been on their show. Maybe someday they'll bring you on.
It's all right.
I think
all right.
they were talking about doing a live action anime movie just to have us on someday.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, that'll work. So anyway, he gave his answer. So the big three anime that got him into anime originally was Bleach, Inuyasha, and Trigun. Now Bleach, we haven't really watched that, but I'm gonna probably watch it after Fairy Tail. Tyler started some of it and probably gonna continue. Inuyasha, I actually almost forgot about that last week when we were talking about it.
I spaced about like I forgot about it. Like I had a buddy that just loved that show, and didn't even cross my mind. But that one is up there. I mean, that one's a good one. It's just you don't hear a lot of people talk about it.
Exactly, and I really loved it as a kid. I remember I used to rent the Inuyasha movies from Hastings to show my age a little bit. There was one where
Hastings.
there was like a moth demon villain, and I freaking loved that movie and probably watched it 50 times over. Like, I think you would like Inuyasha. There's a monk who has a
Oh yeah.
cover on his hand and flipping has a black hole that just sucks people up. I love it.
Oh man, I wish I had that ability.
Right? And then Trigun. Again, that's one I didn't watch a ton of, but I do remember watching late at night, and I did enjoy it. So, solid picks for sure. And then his modern three.
If that's what gets you started, I mean,
Yeah.
might as well.
Right? Like, sounds good to me. And then his modern three that kind of keep him excited watching anime is Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, and One Piece. So basically, my list minus One Piece and throw My Hero in there, and it's my same list I gave last week.
Did he just put One Piece because it's so hype right now?
Probably. No, I don't know.
I can't.
He
I
said
can't
he
stop
loves
seeing-
One Piece, so.
I can't stop seeing how all these episodes, like I guess episode 115 is just really good. I'm like, man, or 1015. I'm like, man, I can't even get to episode 10. I was like, give me a second to catch up. Take like a
Right.
10-year break, and then
I'm
I still
on.
won't be able to catch up.
I think I'm on episode like 130 something.
Oh wow, you're like a tenth of the way there.
Yep. I'm slowly getting there. So yeah, I thought that was cool. So why don't now that we talked about that, let's just hop right into the news.
Time for this week's anime news.
So this week's news, we got Mob Psycho Season 3 this fall, 2022. So, Season 3 is already out. Like I said, Mob Psycho's on my list for Season 1, Season 2, and I'm excited for it because I know it's a very good anime.
It's so
Another
good.
one, another one on our news here is Crunchyroll is to stream the new Chainsaw Man anime. So, if anyone doesn't really know what Chainsaw Man is. It's basically, I don't know, kind of a synopsis, I guess, is it's described as a teenage boy named Denji living with a chainsaw devil named, I want to say it's Pachita. Due to the debt his father left behind, he has been living rock bottom life while repaying his debt by harvesting devil corpses with his cheetah. One day, Denji is betrayed and killed. As his consciousness fades, he makes contact with Vegeta and gets revived as a Chainsaw Man. So the style that from Mappa Studios is literally like a Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan. It just looks like it's gonna be what I think replaces like Black Clover and all those other shows that are ending, and this will be right up in there with just mainstream.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be right up in the mainstream talk. It's a good manga. It's funny. It action packed. Like, it's going to be a really good one.
Yeah, it just if you haven't seen the trailer, you can look it up on YouTube, Crunchyroll, whatever you want, and it is literally gives you a good little breakdown of how it's going to be. A little bit gory, and so I think it's going to be a good one to watch, especially for the older people. So
For sure.
And then next on the news is the manga to remain. Basically, it's just kind of like a need to know kind of basis. It's just manga is to remain just a prominent. It's predicted by the industry. Like they just think it's here to stay. Like after My Hero and Jujutsu Kaisen and then Chainsaw Man like topping a lot of the lists and New York Times bestsellings, like manga is just growing in popularity. It is.
Yep.
Crazy to think that so many different ones. Usually you only get like one good one that's just up in the rankings, but you're just getting so many, and it's just, you just open your mind, and it's real. Anime is not a bad thing to get into.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's just, honestly, I'm a big comic book reader, and even I've been reading more and more manga than I have comics lately, and it's just, I don't know. It's a lot easier to digest because, like in comic books, anyone who reads comic books, you know how annoying some of them can be because it's like, where do I start reading? Manga is so simple because they actually finish their stories for their characters. They don't go on these decades long deal, and it's like start on chapter 1. There you go. That's it.
Well, it screws me up because I start opening magazine articles and I start reading them from right to left.
Right.
It literally screws me up because that's what I read. Like you catch me with a book that's left to right, slap me. But that's just what I'm used to right now. So it's kind of weird to think that even, I don't know, 15 years ago I never would have thought that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I wasn't very big into manga until the last couple of years, and I love it. It's so easy to binge read manga than it is comics.
Yep. So last thing on the news, it's not really news, but it's kind of like if you're an anime fan and then you have the off chance that you actually like sports also, it's kind of cool that the Los Angeles Chargers, they released their schedule in an anime style video. So I've seen a lot of people kind of not make fun of it, but put their own edits into it, and you just see them going through their schedule, and it's literally an anime. So it's just hilarious. It's so funny. If you could just find it and watch it, it's just every anime scene or whatever anime they try to put in there is just a different opponent that they have scheduled within their week 17, 18 schedule format that they have. And so it was really cool to see. So there's at least there's some anime fans in the football world. So
oh yeah,
and
there
me,
definitely is.
I'm a huge sports guy. If Dustin, you can see he has a Baltimore Ravens hat. He got that after they won the Super Bowl. So
I got it before.
So
I've been a fan.
So that's about it. But I don't know, a little bit more than normal. So
Yeah, fun little topics, I think. And if the Chargers, that was perfect. So
yeah.
All right, well, let's get into our first segment here. We're going to go over our top 3 power types or abilities in anime. So, Tyler, what would be your number 3?
My number 3. So, I guess, God. I honestly like the breathing styles in Demon Slayer. I think that'd be my number 3. I really like that. I like that they all the styles begin with sun breathing, and then they're diversified over the life of the Demon Slayer corpse, which each style has its unique advantages and disadvantages. but it's just it enhances their speed, power, I can't say that. Yeah, I can't say that word. However, they show the ability to enhance the user's durability, stamina, reflexes to be the best. It's just master their breathing. So it's just cool that like I really like Inosuke's where like his isn't really like a form of breathing. It's just it's just his beast style. It's kind of funny. You see in this season 2 he does this huge dramatic like technique, and it's just him running.
It's fantastic. I love Inosuke.
So yeah, what's your number 3?
My number 3 would probably be Nin from Hunter x Hunter. I like that there's like the 4 main like typings basically, and if you're more than one, you get the specialist class and all that. So I just really thought that was pretty cool. Not everyone can tap into it, but when they do, they kind of get this unique power to themselves. Like Kite's like roulette wheel on weapons. Like I thought that was full and sweet.
Yeah, don't talk about Kite. He's one of the most like disappointing characters to me. Because I love him so much, but you don't get anything from him. Like you really don't know what he does. Like you'd see a couple of his weapons, and that's kind of it. So it's just maybe they
did him dirty.
Yeah, they did him a little dirty, but I guess you got to give the protagonist something to cry about.
Oh yeah, that was one very, very emotional scene.
Yeah. So, number 2. My number 2 is actually it's kind of like a secondary to what it's actually. So I like the Dragon Slayer magic from Fairy Tail.
Okay.
So you could say magic in just general, but I just like the Dragon Slayer magic. I think that's cool. It's just I like how the fact that the magic can be taught from an actual dragon, and then you can get it other ways like the Lacrima, but I just like how they kind of put that as like I don't know, you get Natsu and Gajeel and all those other 2
Rogue and something.
Wow. Yeah, Dragon Slayers, Rogue, okay, that was his name. And then Loxus with like the Lacrima or whatever. So It's kind of cool seeing what they do with that and how it's just so much stronger and the different generations of dragon magic. And so
I really enjoy dragon magic, and I think it's funny once they get to the point where they're proficient with dragon magic, they all are motion sickness. I don't know why I find that funny, but it's so great.
I guess they all got to have a drawback, but I don't know when the writers were like, or when he was trying to write that, I'd be like, you know what? Let's just make them motion sickness. Let's make it to where they can't travel. Yeah.
It's so good. What?
No, I was just going to say, it's just funny because you get, the actual magic taught from dragons and stuff. And so they can fly and they're just all motion. And that's exactly what just enables them to do anything.
Well, I love Natsu's excuse for why he doesn't get motion sickness when Happy flies him. He's like, Happy's not transportation. It's like, what? That don't make no sense.
I love it. So, what's yours?
Right. So mine is also magic style, but it is Black Clover's because I like how everyone gets their own specific grimoire, and it seems unique to each person. And like, because you have, what is his name? Finral with the spatial magic, and his brother has spatial magic, but they're 2 totally different styles. So I find that like really cool. I just like how everyone has a very distinct type of magic based off of whatever grimoire they get.
Well, it's a very basic ability to put into a world of anime, but the sky's the limit with it. So it is kind of cool seeing all the stuff that they can do. And I like the witch where she has the cat. Like I think that one's kind of cool.
The string magic deal, and it's like she's really cool.
It can like change their fate and stuff like that. So I thought that's kind of cool just to bring stuff in. I mean, and then you can just get anti-magic.
Yeah.
So I mean, make that the most OP thing, not even magic. So
yeah, right.
But my number 1, I actually really like the Cursed Energy and Jujutsu Kaisen. So I went a little bit different rather than just like the normal ones, I guess. But I mean, if you think about it, Cursed Energy it's kind of a cool way it happens. It's basically just arises from like a negative emotions and experiences like of human beings, and the ability to manipulate and utilize one's Cursed Energy is mainly learned at like the Jujutsu educational level, but they can utilize that and they can train people, and it's kind of a cool form of, I don't know. I like how they can put the negative emotion and it can literally just create I don't know. I guess these
Power,
demons.
basically.
Yeah, yeah. So that
Oh
was
yeah,
kind
I
of my
definitely.
number one.
I love the cursed energy because you get the different demons from like the folklores and fears of people, and
Mm-hmm.
also just the fact of like kind of taking the negative emotions that we as people feel, the sorrow, the anger, the rage, and all that, and channeling it into an ability to kill these cursed people or cursed
Yeah,
monsters is really sweet.
and they make a very good job at just even making side characters have these emotions and wondering like that they're going through their lives with all these problems. Just like the cursed the little people sitting on their shoulders just weighing them down and hurting their back and like explanations. I think that's kind of cool. They can just they did all that. So
Oh, for sure. So my number one is gonna be basic, but I'm a big superhero fan. So my favorite is Quirks from My Hero.
okay,
I love Quirks.
okay,
I anyone who knows me outside of this podcast, I love DC characters. I love superheroes. I like comics. So when you bring me an anime where it's superheroes, I'm gonna love it. And Quirks are just really cool because it could literally be anything.
it's the same
Literally
thing as
flipping anything.
It's the same thing as Grimoire. It's just
Yeah.
in a different aspect. It's cool. You can just base off. Yeah, there's just so much cool. That's why I like Bakugo so much. That's why you like Kirishima so much.
Yep.
Just because they're off the wall, but they're like, damn, like what you could you actually do with that ability?
Right.
So
Well, and I
mine would
also
probably be
like
destroying.
I like Lemillion because like his has such a drawback that he loses all of his senses when he uses it, but he can
Yeah,
turn that into a benefit and make it like one of the most OP powers in the show.
yeah. I don't know if I'd want to see you with that ability because you'd just be running around town naked all the time. But maybe your wife would like that.
No, I don't think she would either.
Wow. All right. Yeah, no. I like Overhaul's ability in that show. I think his is pretty sweet. Just being able to rebuild and destroy kind of whatever he touches or whatever's around him. I don't know exactly how it works, but it's just I don't know. Him and Deku's fight was amazing. That's still one of
Oh
my, I think I
gosh.
watch that on replay all the time, so
That's such a good fight. I love that fight.
that is
Like
one
the
thing that show does justice with is their fights in English or in dub and sub. They kick ass with it. So
Oh yeah, you still feel that same emotion in the English that you do in the sub. Like,
hmm
for instance, I've been starting that Aowashi, that soccer anime,
hmm
and I'll tell you right now, the sub is definitely better than the dub because it's like the emotion aspect. You don't get the same feelings watching the
yeah,
dub.
yeah.
Like
No,
I've watched it both, and I'm
that's
definitely on sub.
literally that's literally 9 out of 10 animes. You just every once in a while you gotta get that Dragon Ball in there. That's has good dub. Um, Pokemon has really crappy dub. I hate
Yeah,
the
it
dub
does.
for that. So if you ever want to watch Pokemon, don't watch it dub. Otherwise, it's just a kid show. It really is. There's no
Oh yeah.
emotion behind it. So, but I actually that was I know we're gonna get into Demon Slayer, but I actually finished the last three in English, and surprisingly, they did a really good job with it.
Oh yeah, I
So
watched the entire season 2 in English, and I loved every minute of it.
yeah, I know Tanjiro's voice is a little okay, but
Yeah.
once he can get really into it, he's really good. But if he's just talking, it's not that great. So, but all the other voices I really like, so I can
I
deal with
like
it.
how in the English Zenetsu sounds so much cooler.
Oh, I when he's asleep.
Yeah, when he's asleep, he sounds so cool when he's asleep.
Yeah, yeah. So,
All right, so we ready to get into our fight?
oh God, yeah, we're doing that this week, huh?
Yeah, let's
Almost
get
forgot.
at it.
We're back to the 3v3 fights for one more week.
Yeah, so here we
That
go.
we gotta go until Dustin gets his win, and I'm predicting that's this week.
I'm predicting it's this week. If I don't win this week, I'm gonna freaking rage. I'm telling you right now. So here we go. All right, we're in our screen for our 3v3 if you're watching the video portion. And who goes first? I guess we did the
I
Pokemon one last time, so
yeah, I can go first. Before we start, me and Dustin will probably both butcher some of these names.
oh yeah.
There's a lot of things that we did a little bit of research and we go through, and so some of them we'll probably butcher and then we'll get made fun of later, but we do our best. So, I guess we did the same thing where we get 6 characters generated. We go one Pokemon style, one versus one, and then we determine who's the winner after all three are have been spawned out. I will go first this week, and the first character that Dustin chose for me, and he doesn't know these characters, he hasn't seen them, is I don't know this character too much, but I believe Dustin does. So his name is Juzo from the Tokyo Ghoul series.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know him.
So I, like I said, I need to get into it. I've watched a little bit of clips on him, so I don't know how Tokyo Ghoul pairs with any other animes. But he is a special class ghoul investigator at the CCG. Juzo was once a normal child in his youth, but has changed over time due to the treatment he had by Big Madam. Juzo's understanding emotions and morals were gone, and he no longer feels pain or fear, or as a result, so he lacks the moral understanding of what's right from wrong. So he's just a crazy ass kid. So because of his lack of morality and basic understanding in general, Juzo is willing to take on any opponent, no matter what, how dangerous or powerful. So this could put him in some really bad situations, but he doesn't hesitate. So that is also just a gift within itself. So, however, this has proven to be disastrous, as he's taken on Yoshimura alone, and even though multiple people were needed to take him down, he tries his best. Juzo is gifted acrobat. He just has an unorthodox fighting style. He's very unpredictable, ambitious fighter. I could go on and on. He has a very large stash of these scorpions. I don't know exactly how it is, if it's 1-56 or 156. It's just basically a small switchblade or a set of knives that can do heavy damage, and he tends to throw large amounts at them, at enemies, whenever he's in combat. It's just one of his big moves. He has the 13's Jason, which is a large scythe that can do incredible large amounts of damage when used correctly. The Quin-Q?
Queen K.
Quin K? Okay, Quin K is very strong and durable, so it has the ability to cut through Quin K metal, which is very difficult. The blade has also very sharp and pointy edges on it, so I don't know. He just seems... he seems like that Killua kind of type, but he just seems more chaotic. Like, you get that assassin feel to him, but he just seems like he's just uncontrollable. So I know he's probably one of the top characters in Tokyo Ghoul, but he's not an actual ghoul. So, but from there, that's kind of really all I know from him. So
yeah, so if I was to say like how he stacks up compared to like the humans in that show, he's probably like the strongest human fighters of the Tokyo Ghoul like people.
Right, and that's what I've seen. It's just you get, like I said, you get these animes and you'll get some OP ones, so he can only do so good. So,
oh yeah, for sure. And no, I love Tokyo Ghoul. And quick thing, in the Queen Ks, those are made out of dead ghouls that they turn into weapons. So the ghouls that they kill, they turn around and turn them into a flipping weapon, which is honestly just super brutal and messed up to me.
See, and he's one of those white-haired characters,
yep.
So he's OP. So it's just kind of funny that I get a Tokyo Ghoul character as I'm saying, like, this is the next show I'm gonna watch. So it's like I'm gonna see this and I'm already gonna be a fan of him. So we'll see.
Exactly. So I got a white hair character too that I'm gonna throw out. I'm giving you this win. I'm just gonna preface that right from the start. I've never seen the show, but what I've researched is my character's useless. So I'm throwing out Evans from Soul Eater. And the reason I say he's useless is he is a weapon, actually. Like, he turns into this like soul weapon or whatever, and it's a scythe. Oddly enough, you just talked about a guy using a scythe. But he's wielded by people. Like, he isn't the big fighter. Like, he relies on other people to use him as a weapon to fight. He has fought before, but his fighting is just, he's not very good at fighting.
He sounds like a Pokemon without his trainer.
Yeah, like he's turned his like arms or something, it says, into like blades before, and he's used them to fight, and he's a really powerful weapon. But when I was looking at videos and everything, it was always him being used as a weapon. It was never him actually fighting. So if I'm throwing him out, I can't have outside help. He's my anime mon here, So I threw out a dude who's going to come at you with a couple of knives that he turned his arms into, and you're going to straight up decapitate him, and I'm going to call that right now.
All right. Well, there's our 3v3 fight.
Just the first battle. I'm gonna win with this next one. I am throwing out Asta from Black Clover. So,
Okay.
if you don't know who Asta is, he is a beefy idiot. I love Asta. He's kind of like that. He's the Inosuke of Black Clover. He's that dude who just charges in, wants to fight, prove he's strong. He has a sad backstory of he didn't have magic. He didn't get a grimoire like everyone else, but he ends up getting a grimoire later when it comes to protecting his brother, basically, because they're both orphans. You know, he gets
Yeah.
the five leaf clover grimoire, and it's produces an anti magic sword. So in the Black Clover world, he's able to dispel any magic by simply hitting it with his sword.
Yeah. Yeah. He basically gets his powers from a demon. So.
Yep, and that's what I was gonna say. He's devil possessed, basically, and that's where a lot of his strength comes from. But he does have like the increased strength. He's fast. He has great battle instincts. Yami taught him how to read ki, is what they called it in the show, and it's just like being able to read the environment and feel the slightest change in the air or whatever to better predict the fight. So he's a
Yes.
top tier fighter with a ginormous sword that no one else seems to be able to lift.
Yeah. So basically, his ability is plot armor.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess with his fighting style in general, he could probably do good because I mean, you're not really fighting magic, so either way, I
It's
don't know.
it's definitely not magic. But he still has that monstrous sword. I definitely think Juzo would hurt him because Juzo is super flipping quick. He has throwing blades. He has the scythe. He has some range. Whereas Asta doesn't really have the range, but he also has speed as well.
Okay. So I feel
So-
like you're giving me a lot of this because you probably have an OP character to end it.
Oh, I do.
That's the way you're making it sound. So
Oh,
if
I
I'm
do.
doing damage, if I'm doing damage to him, which Asta, he just, I don't know. Like I said, it's a plot armor, so you don't really understand without he's one of those if his friends are in danger or all of a sudden he's 10 times stronger. So it's like. He could probably do it in a 1v1 fight, but I guess I don't know. Like I said, I don't know Tokyo Ghoul quite as much.
I'll say in Tokyo Ghoul, Juzo does a lot more of fighting on his own. He's that crazy dude who rushes in without any backup, jumps straight into a fight, and just takes on 20 ghouls at a time.
Right. Well, if you're saying Juzu does damage to him, then my second character should just be able to finish Asta off.
Okay.
Just,
Yeah, so I'll say Juzo can easily do 50% damage if we're doing Pokemon style to Asta because Juzo is super freaking quick. He has the range, and unlike Asta, he usually doesn't fight as a team. He fights solo and dominates.
And the only thing with Asta is how much is his ability is going to work against, he's got these swords and
Basically, we're going off of the physical strength and the fact that his swords are ginormous.
right. So, well, that kind of leads me into, I mean, I kind of got a character that kind of has the same general, I don't know, I guess the same light, the same, I think of him as the same way if I was to think of another character, and my second one was Killua from Hunter x Hunter.
Okay. I like Killua.
So,
Killua's cool.
yes. Yeah, so Killua he's like the third child of Silva, the Zoldyak, and he's just the higher of the Zoldyak family. Killua, he's another one of those spiky, silver haired, pale skin, blue eyes. He I don't know, his eyes change shape depending on the mood that he's in, narrowing and sharpening when he goes into assassin mode, despite his horrendous upbringing and torturing from his family. He's managed to remain generally positive and does not seem to psychologically, it doesn't really affect him for how much torture he's actually been through. And so basically showcasing his abilities, he can turn his nen into electricity. Both Netero and Biscuit, there are two characters in the show. They noted how truly tragic his childhood had to have been in order to endure this electricity. So his family name alone is just enough to scare anyone that is associated with him. Killua has been trained since birth to become a superhuman weapon, and is just one of the most talented assassins in the entire history. Killua has displayed his strength in several occasions. Before he learned Nen, he was able to like open that 16-ton gate before his Nen, and then after his Nen, it was like a 64-ton gate. So I mean, just that alone, pure strength. He can lift boulders, throw them over his head. He can hit trees in half. I mean, he's an assassin. He can rip people's hearts out. You know, he was able to just pierce. I'm trying to think of like the exoskeletons of the Chimera ants. He was able to just get like one swift motion and puncture them. His biggest thing is just the electricity that he was tortured with since he was a child. He's able to use that as his. He's a transmuter, so he's able to change his shape and of his aura, which he was able to use his Nen ability, which alters into like a substance that is equal to electricity. So, and he's resistant against poisons, toxins, chemicals, just from all the torture. So, he has what is it, Godspeed?
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. I love that move. Yeah, he's definitely got the speed aspect. So I don't know how the power scaling would be from Hunter x Hunter to Black Clover, and we're trying to get this as close as we can whenever we do these fights. But with Asta, he don't have magic. And Nen, I don't think his anti-magic swords are going to do anything to Nen because it's from a different source. It's kind of like Chi or Chakra as Nen, as far as I can tell.
In speed alone, I gotta say Killua is just, I mean, way above Asta. I know Asta's a
you got
main character, but
like Asta's shown some crazy speed before, but I wouldn't equal it to the lightning speed that you see from Killua. Even if Asta gets what's that demon's name, Libel or whatever, or Libe, whatever his demon form.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, Asta might be able to do a little damage, but I definitely
he definitely could.
I give Killua the win for sure, especially with Asta 50% already.
Yeah, I just think of where they're at. Just in anime terms right now, I think Asta still has a lot of learning. I think Killua, he takes it so easy and just he's already so trained, and his body's been through way more. Asta's body's been through a lot, but I mean, come on, his was just a lot of training, not a lot of torture. That's kind of training, you know.
Right.
So, I don't know. Like I said, we're going back and forth. But
don't worry. I'll get 2 in a row right here.
Yeah, see, and I'll probably just have to throw out my third guy. Maybe can I throw out both of my? Can it be a double versus a one if you're that confident?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm that confident. Like, let me take off my. You want me to tell you who I got?
You got like a One Piece or
no.
like a.
Here, I'm gonna take off my hat so I match my character. Okay, there we go.
Oh, so you just got Saitama.
I got Saitama.
Yeah, you should have changed that one.
Yeah, I got the One Punch Man himself, the overly powered, ridiculous play on shonen protagonist where he is absolutely OP.
Yeah, you don't even have to, like you said, when I did my notes for a couple weeks ago for Saitama, I don't think I had anything in there. Just, I was completely blank. There was no reason. It's such a gag character to get. I felt bad getting it the last time. I was like, man, I really don't want to do it, but I think it'd just be funny. And now you just paid me back on that one. So
yeah, you picked him, and I mean, you had options that like you could have gotten. Roy Mustang for me is who I also had. I had Aizawa again, and I had Akamaru. You could have picked Akamaru, the dog from Naruto.
So I gave you the only character that you won, so that would have got you the win. So
exactly.
I do have a random character that you do know.
Okay. Who is it?
Just in abilities alone, he's a pretty BA, but he's I got Jalil or is it? Yeah, I want to say that's how you say it from Fairy Tail. Jalal, there you go.
Yeah.
So Jalal. Okay, it's been a minute since I've actually watched Fairy Tail, but I know he's. I can't remember is Jalal from one of the kind of the universes or whatever, and then Mystigan's from the other, or is it the same person?
It's 2 different people.
Or
so
like,
Jalal is the person from the main verse. He's the one that Ursa grew up with and everything, and Mystigan is the one from the Exceed world.
Okay, Exy. Okay, so that's what I thought. I thought they were two different, but I couldn't know exactly. I couldn't remember it. Like I said, it's been a couple of years since I've actually had to watch that show. I actually really liked his character, just his past with Urza and everything. But
Oh,
like,
and his
magic,
whole redemption arc and everything.
yeah. So he's one of the top 10 ranked wizard saints in all of Earthland. So he just possesses a vast amount of magic power. He I don't know. He can perform telekinetic feats where he can move objects around the air. Dude, I can go on and explain. It's not going to beat anyone. But, for defense, I mean, he can conjure hexagonal barriers to protect him and others from attacks. He's just basically a mage that can produce meteors and stars and black holes and through his body against his enemies. And, I mean, he has a move that's called just Meteor. It basically allows him to surround his body in a cloak of heavenly body magic, giving him an ability through the air at incredible speeds. Such was his skill that even foes were able to detect him, where unable to respond in time to counter him. Like, they just couldn't do anything about it. But with Saitama, there's just... I can go on and explain and try to...
Yeah, there's just... Saitama is so ridiculously OP. Like, just the wind force from his punches usually take people out. Like, I mean, you could throw out barriers, he's just going to break them. Like, in the end of season 1, he fought this crazy strong alien. Like, Saitama didn't even fight back for the first, half of it. He was literally just getting knocked around and, just thinking off in his head, not doing anything.
As an anime fan, I hate his character because of just, you can't do anything. Like, you can't base it off of anyone else. But as just watching this show and being a fan of One Punch Man, his character's hilarious.
It's great.
It's top tier, but I hate it as trying to argue as an anime fan because you're just not gonna win.
No, you're not.
It's bringing Superman and Goku into this, and it's so stupid. But I
think it's worse than Superman Goku, just because they purposely made him to be you gave the most ridiculous character, personality wise, the strongest, most OP power in all of anime.
Well, yeah, then you go online and you're people are defending him, oh, he's this and he's that, and it's he could beat Goku and he can do all this. It's yeah, but anyone could just write that. Anyone could just write it that way. And so and the way that they did write it is just almost not makes fun of anime characters, but it's just this is how simple it is. Just do 100 push-ups, do 100 sit-ups, and get this power and you'll lose your hair. You just lost your hair and you have no power, but
yeah, I have the power of not breathing well.
Yeah. Yeah, you got the opposite of the breathing techniques.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, no, Saitama, definitely a gag character. Love the character, love the show. One Punch Man's one of my favorites. But
yeah, so
I mean, that's all I have for the 3v3. Basically, Dustin finally won, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, you had to bring out Saitama in order to do it, and I'll give you that. So.
I'll take it. I don't even care. I might have been able to do better with the other two people, but I didn't even care to because I saw Saitama. I'm like, I don't even need to try.
Yeah, see, if anyone is listening or anyone can ever actually see the video, I just lost to a guy that has the letter L on his left foot and the little letter R on his right foot. So if that makes you feel I feel as low as I can right now.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, that is pretty embarrassing.
So I'll give it to you. It's all right. It's all right. We got some Demon Slayer to talk about. That's why I'm here.
All right, so let's get into it. So if you're going to check out before the review, just email us at whattheanime.podcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all the social medias, TikTok. We're on TikTok quite a bit.
Yeah, do it. Right now. Pause this episode and do it right now.
Also,
I'll do it too.
Rate and review us. We need some ratings. We need some reviews on our show just to get our name out there more. Help us out. We'd love the support.
Maybe we can do a poll on there and be Dustin's next tattoo, and then you guys could just write whatever you want, and then he has to pick one. It could be terrible. So
if we get 1,000 followers on our Facebook group, which has nothing on it, I will do that.
I forget we have Facebook because I don't run that. So
No, I don't even run it. Basically, I created a
1,000 on
page and
Face.
that's it.
You pick the one social media we don't really work on quite
Yeah.
yet. So
Yeah, no, quite yet.
it's a 2-man process with 10 different things, and we have full-time jobs. So
That's why we're mostly TikTok and Twitter. I share a bunch of news. But yeah, email
we're-
us, hit us up. Let's get some stuff going.
We're getting the views and the listens on our podcast, and that's what we're mainly focused on. So
Yeah. In fact, let's do another quick question of the week. We talked about our top 3 powers. Give us your top power. Just give us the one. What is your favorite power and favorite character from that verse?
right, it could be Midnight from My Hero. You never know.
I like
That was one of
Midnight.
Dustin's.
Yeah, we might only get the one answer from Zach, but I'll take it. So anyone else, though, will hear that we do mention it on the show. So write in.
Yeah, and Zach, if you're gonna watch, please tell Dustin Saitama loses.
No, he ain't going to.
Just
He
find a
knows it.
way.
No,
He,
no. All right, that out of the way. Let's get into the spoiler-free section of the review. Wanna
am I
hit it
doing
up?
this one, or am I doing this one?
This one's yours.
Spoiler free. All right, so Demon Slayer. Basically, it follows the. This is season 2, so if you haven't seen season 1, pause right now, go watch the 26 episodes, and then come back. It should only take you a couple days. So, I mean, you could do it, but it basically follows the adventures of Tanjiro as he looks for a cure for his demon sister Nezuko. The second season following right after the events from season 1, after they have healed from their battle against the Spider Clan and the lower ranked demon
Rui.
Rui. And so Tanjiro wants answers on fire breathing, so he seeks out Rengoku, the fire Hashira. And for the answers, Hinokami, the style that he does. In doing so, they face a demon who has been killing people on a train. You get a sweet fight with Rengoku and an upper rank demon. After the events from season 2, part 1, you get into the entertainment district arc, which I know is a huge fan favorite, and not even Dustin's favorite, but he was just really excited for it. Basically, you get introduced to Tengen and his 3 wives, so that's always nice. So he's just the sound Hashira. He's looking for 3 people to join him and infiltrate 3 houses. And basically, it's kind of funny that they just start this off because you get to see a little bit of funnier side to Demon Slayer. So he just basically believes that an upper rank demon is to blame for the madness that is kind of going on. So
Yep.
that is kind of your spoiler free. What did you think of the dude? In reality, like the animation alone, and I know people don't want to just go off a straight animation, but a 10 out of 10 for the animation. My
Oh
God.
yeah. No, the animation style alone is flipping amazing. It's beautiful. It is seriously beautiful.
I haven't seen anything top that. It's literally movie animation every episode, and it is so crazy.
Yeah, their budget has to be through the freaking roof because it is so good looking.
Well, and that's probably why we only got 11 new episodes. So, it's kind of sucks. So, part 1 of season 2, the first 6 episodes, and by now a lot of you guys already know, is just basically the movie.
Yep.
And so, after the movie, you kind of get a little bit more. What is the 6th episode, or the first episode is kind of just more. I think it's more before the train and kind of leading up to it, and then
Yes.
you get a little bit. Yeah, so you get a little bit more. But in reality, you could skip watch the movie, skip the first 6, and then just straight into the next 11 for season 2. So it's, I don't know. I was watching a video the other day, and someone was talking about how they thought the soundtrack or the opening for season 2 was way better than season 1. And I wanted to fight them. I wanted to find who they were. I was like, I understand. So season 2's opening is really good. I really like it. But in about 5 years, a lot of people are probably going to forget it.
Oh yeah.
And so then you're going to be like, well, what's this from? And then they're not going to remember. You're always going to know what season 1 is from.
Oh, it was TikTok famous.
Yeah. And so it just even all like the piano music that they have in season 1 is amazing. So I just remember hearing that and I wanted to say it, but and in reality, the only thing that I have kind of a knock on it is how short it was, and
Yeah.
how I don't know, the beginning of season 2, part 2, I guess you could say, it kind of felt more like filler in the beginning. I understand it was kind of telling a story and it needed to, but they didn't need to introduce kind of the stuff that they did. I understand why, but it was just kind of, I don't know, it was a little off the wall for kind of a Demon Slayer.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of like foundation setup before getting into the action, but I don't know, it wasn't bad.
You get 5 good episodes of the action, and it's really good. It has a good story, and the demons that they run into have, of course, a backstory that you get the whole scope of it, and love or hate them, they're good. It's a good fight. So,
Yep. So spoiler free, recommend.
oh yeah,
All right. Well,
Yeah.
you heard it. Watch Demon Slayer. I mean, if you
Yeah,
haven't heard it before, then you've heard it now.
yeah. So
Spoiler
Don't-
section
you
starting
don't-
now.
you don't gotta listen to us to tell you or not whether or not to listen to Demon Slayer. You should you should have done that by now.
Exactly. So now we're getting into spoiler territory, so that way we could talk freely, which I so want to do.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't have a lot that I hate at all because this is my favorite anime. But literally them them dressing up as girls and like for how long that they were irritated me. Inosuke's character was fine with it, but Zenitsu's character was a girl the entire season.
I forgot he
Like-
still had like the little pigtail while he was asleep, and the
Yeah,
little
he's
blush.
asleep and he's doing his his little thunderclap and he just has these freaking pigtails the whole time. And it's like, dude, and he has this big that big snot bubble, and I'm like, come on, man, like can we he's in this fight where he's basically can't feel his legs anymore, and he still has his hair in ponytails. Like, are those the strongest thing in that entire fight?
I guess so.
Other than that, I don't know. I mean, you get the other thing that I have a hard time with on Demon Slayer is I do, so in most animes I do like it when the protagonists aren't the strongest,
Hmm.
but they do so much, like, how do I put this? They do so much build up on getting them stronger, and then during these fights they're just almost worthless.
Oh yeah.
And so it's just kind of like they're able to keep up, but it just shows you how much stronger these Hashiras are, and how much stronger these demons are, and how I understand they've only been doing it for a little while, so they got to grow. So they do a good job with that, but it's like they can't do anything, but then to the last second they get this energy, like in a lot of animes, and they're able to just do one little thing that then helps the Hashira to be able to win. So it's like they're helping hands, which is a little bit different for, I guess, an anime take. But
Oh yeah, I definitely enjoy that too, because you do get to see the progression from them not even knowing how to do what is it, the total concentration breathing.
yeah, and
To-
the one thing
Now it's normal.
and the one thing and I go back and forth, I like it and I don't, is I do like how every season they're bringing in these Hashiras, and the Hashira almost becomes the main character every season. So it's like you get a new style of fighting and a new way of thinking for these characters every single season, and so that's kind of cool, and you just get little bits and pieces built up into the next season. And so I do like that, but I don't like how like weak they make Tanjiro and Inosuke and Zenitsu actually, until they just bring out their OP move and then they do some kind of damage. It's just, I don't know.
And I'm going to tell you right now, basically that's how it's going to go for a while.
Yeah, and I know that, but
eventually they do get to the point where they actually really showcase Zenitsu, Inosuke, and Tanjiro at like basically similar level to a Hashira style. So like you'll get there. It's definitely a slow build, and that's why I love the manga and the series so much. Is like,
yeah, so in a manga style, that's perfect to do.
yeah,
It's easy to do that because you're just reading up. But then like in anime, if you don't have them become like Hashira style until like the very fast fight where they fight like Muzan or whatever, it's like, man, we've waited to see these guys' powers for how long is it going to take? 5-6 more years? We've waited so long that you're just all of a sudden you're going to get to the final fight and then they're good.
Yep.
So it's like I kind of just want to see Tanjiro kick ass one of these days, you know, and so and it's funny because you just think Inosuke is so much stronger, but you know Tanjiro can shut him up.
He basically can only beat Inosuke with a headbutt, but you know.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how the headbutt comes in here at the end of the, you know, to kind of beat the final villain. He just does a headbutt, but I don't know, he's a very smart character, and you don't really, I don't know, you see it, but he's like almost like trying to survive and just make sure his sister is alive, but then he's just thinking of 10 different things. So you can tell he's adapting and he's becoming better. And I don't know. In reality, I love season 2 just as much as season 1. It is so good. It is so good.
And that's what you always worry about with anime is like if season 2 is going to drop off and not be as good as the first, but with Demon Slayer, it's just as good. And I know everyone always says Mugen Train arc is like the best arc in all of Demon Slayer. It is, to me, it's definitely not. It gets so much better still.
The colors that they put in this one were insane with Tengen's fight. Like I don't know. They do a good job. I don't really have a lot that I guess I could complain about. Like I said, it's short. And so I wish there was more to it. I think they could have done more. One thing that I'm kind of remembering that I didn't really like about it is they did the entire backstory of these villains after the fight. So the last episode, I could pay attention to, because like I said, I'm going to take any bit of info I can on this and soak it up. But like it was a longer episode for the last episode, and it was just so hard to kind of get through because I've already seen the fight. So it's like I'm not as like emotionally connected to this villain after the fact. Like I get it, I want to feel bad for him, but I mean, even when he was a human, he kind of sucked. So
yeah,
you know, his sister, she kind of got stuck into all this. You know, but it is kind of cool because I don't know, you get, what is it, Daki and Gyutaro. One of I do like it because like they are like the parallel version of like Tanjiro and Nezuko as siblings, like what kind of could have been. And so you know, you get Gyutaro and Tanjiro as the big brothers, and then Nezuko and Daki as the little sisters, and it's just kind of like you see one sibling set just kind of get this violence and death and becoming demons, and just how it could, you know, what would have happened if Tanjiro became a demon. You know, they both would have been this way. So it's kind of crazy. It's a little tragic, but it's kind of cool to be able to see that.
Yeah, honestly, that part I really loved, that they kind of show the comparison. It's basically of like which path could Tanjiro and Nezuko taken. If they would have taken the demon path, that's what they would have ended up like.
Yeah,
but they chose the path of still to kind of remain and keep his humanity and try to give that back to Nezuko. And it's really beautiful. And I also like that you start to really see in this season that Nezuko's blood demon art only affects demons.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of crazy. She's almost like the anti-demon, so it's kind of crazy that she can just cure poison all of a sudden, you know, and you just
without burning them.
Yeah, so it's so funny. He just catches on fire and they're all freaking out.
Yeah, it's, what's her name? Suma, like, tackles her almost and starts freaking out.
Yeah. Oh, God, the crying at the end. That was almost worse than Zenitsu's crying. I had to turn my volume down for that. But other than that, man, I'll watch it again. I like it a lot. I'm excited for season 3. I'm assuming it'll come at the end of the year, beginning of next year.
Yes, they already announced it. It's the Swordsmith Village arc.
Okay, so hopefully maybe it lasts a little bit longer. You know, now that they don't have to reveal like a movie also. So
right.
So hopefully they can maybe just do more than one arc. I don't know. If they're gonna go at an arc base, maybe they can slow it down, take their time. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have to do 2 arcs next season, because the first arc, it's not going to have a whole lot of the side characters. It's mostly like it's a Hashira and Tanjiro. Like, you don't really get anybody else.
Oh, okay.
So they almost have to do 2 arcs because people are going to miss Zenitsu and Inosuke and, you know, the trio. So they're going to do 2 arcs, I believe.
Yeah. We'll see how they do it then. No, other than that, I mean, if you rating Are you gonna give it a 1 through 10? I mean,
I was hoping you would go first. I wore this on purpose. I wore my Demon Slayer shirt on purpose.
So I can go first, and okay. I will give it a 9.7. So
okay,
I'm going a little different. I'm going really high because I think this is, as a whole, this whole series is going to be amazing. The way that they're doing their animation, they're not shorty. Like, so you get to like the end. This is off track. Like, if you're watching Black Clover and you're watching like the animation for a while, and you're like, oh, okay, all of a sudden it takes a weird turn, and it could be for good or bad, but they do a really weird job with their animation. And at first I didn't like it, and so like they just did like a mid change, and I don't know if maybe I just noticed it one time, but the fact that like they have their Demon Slayer has their set style, it's not going to change. So you're not going to get a crappy animation, here in 3 seasons, or they're not going to care about it. They're going to finish their story. So I really like that part of it. The only thing that I think that draws it back for me giving it like a perfect score in my book, since it's my favorite, is the fact that we only got 11 episodes. Like,
yeah,
that, and I don't know.
But maybe those 11 episodes were spectacular.
They were really, really good. I think the whole putting them into the houses of the girls, I think they could have done something different and made our characters not so, I don't know, hard to watch. Because they're all terrible women. So
Inosuke didn't even try. Basically,
no. And
don't talk. His role was don't talk.
He was the only good part about that. So it's, and I like how you get Tanjiro trying to like disguise his voice a little bit, and then they just completely forget about it. It's just he's just normal voice. But what is yours, I guess?
So I was really hard stuck between either a 9.5 or a 10 because maybe I'm biased. I absolutely love this anime, and I do not get all of the random hate that it gets for being like it's only good because of the animation. Because I love the story of Demon Slayer. I absolutely love the manga. It is like the only manga that I am actually trying to fully collect.
Well, yeah, I have it all. So, the problem people have with this anime is like, because you can't compare it to other ones for power and abilities, because they're gonna get stomped no matter what. They can beat all the sports animes.
Oh yeah, they can. but when I'm watching an anime, I don't care like what other anime verse they can beat. Right. I'm enjoying this for the animation, for the story, for honestly all of it. I really, really enjoy this anime, so it's hard for me not to give it a 10.
And I get this anime is supposed to be based on like just pure sword skill, to where there's not actually breathing techniques being shown in their world. Yep. But for the viewer, they just put the effects in. So, but when I'm watching the show, I think I see fire. I think I see water. It's fine. Yeah. I'm putting that's there, but.
They actually made a comment in this last season where she mentioned the fact that the cut felt like it was on fire, even though there wasn't fire, but you could visually see him using the Hinokame style or whatever.
To me, I just don't understand why they just didn't have the abilities be abilities. Like, it's an anime where you're trying to make it real. There's demons.
Right. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't really get it either.
You have blood arts that take away, how is that? How do you show a blood art? Is it just all of a sudden something randomly happens?
Right, especially when on this one where he had those like blood blades that were flying everywhere, and like those were definitely visible. Yeah,
so you're telling me he can have that, but they can't just produce water out of there? Like, give me a break. Like, that's the only drawback, but I don't know why I'm crapping on it, because I mean, if anyone can see, I got little old Nezuko right there, and Tanjiro on the other side, and I got the mask right there. So I mean, I'm decked out.
Yeah, he is fully committed to the show forever.
I literally have a half sleeve of just Demon Slayer. So.
All right, so I guess we'll put it at, you gave it a 9.7. I said I was stuck between 9.5 and a 10. Let's just do 9.8 and call it good.
I'm not gonna argue. So.
All right, cool. Well, with that out of the way, remember, email us, whatintheanime.podcast@gmail.com, and hit us up on any of our social media.
Do it.
Peace out.
That's all I gotta say. Peace out.